All right, I want to read with you just a couple of headlines that I've seen in the various news sites over the past few days. This one, U.S. home prices leapt in September. That means they jumped by the most in 3 years. Here's another one. Salt Lake City projected to be one of America's top 10 housing markets in 2018. So what the heck is going on? Joining us in studio, my good friend, Justin Udy. I endorse Justin. He is with Century 21 Everest Group, and we're going to talk about the housing market right now. Justin, how are you? Welcome back to the show.
I'm amazing. Good seeing you again.
Let me tell you, what's going on with the housing market, man?
Housing market is as strong as it's been. I mean, we talked about this maybe even a couple years ago. We were saying, man, will this momentum continue? And I'll tell you, based on where we're going, low unemployment, high job growth, we're going to continue to see growth not only this year, but I would say into the following year.
What are you seeing out there, Justin? Are these people moving in, or are these people in the state who want to move up to a larger home or trying to get their first home? Where's the growth coming from?
So what you're seeing is this. We are a location and where, number one, we have a number of jobs. So our economy is very strong where it's attracting big players in the market. They're giving them incentives so that they can open up here. So we have a large amount of in-migration. I mean, I think we had 42,000 new jobs last year alone. So if you look at those numbers about the number of people coming in, and then we have people in our market as far as just population growth in general, those people are also coming in age of also purchasing. So you have more people and a larger population that is coming into the market. Plus you have such high job growth and low unemployment that it's bringing more people from out of state. So we have a number of people coming in from large markets, California, New York, Chicago, Texas, different places where sometimes they want to come back, where they want to be in a place that's a little bit, more remote, lower prices, good family
safer,
life,
little
right?
safer.
Exactly, safer. I mean, I hear that a lot from folks in some of the big cities like the Chicagos and some of those places.
What are they saying to you when they, they're coming in from out of state? And when they see this area, they see the homes in this area, what do they say to you, Justin?
I mean, depending on where they come, sometimes they're like, I can't believe I can get this much house for the money. Or they say, I can't believe how beautiful it is. Sometimes they're a little bit surprised about how competitive the market is. They also find that sometimes the way in dealing with certain issues, maybe out of state, may be a big deal versus some of the things that we see as big deals with the physical housing of that property. And
do you get a good mix of people who either want to build and buy a brand new home or want to find an established home or maybe even an older home to fix up? Because I know a lot of people have been into that thanks to the guys at HGTV and the home flippers over there. I mean, do you see a combination of almost everything?
Well, so think about this. Like back in 2012, kind of the average home price was hovering around $210,000, $220,000. Now we're basically closer to around $325,000.
Wow.
So when you have kind of and we haven't had that much of a change truly in income. So what you see is this. You have certain people that can afford, that the affordability is being affected. So as we see interest rates start to creep up, that is going to put some buyers in a housing pinch where they can't afford things. Now, you'll have folks that go and look and they'll say, man, let's say for this average $325,000 price, I'm like, this is what I get for $325,000. And then they bump it up. Then they don't find what they want, and then they say, what else is out there? And then we're looking at new construction. So I would tell you, on our home sales, we deal with a number of retail sales, but also land and development and building. And typically the buyers, once you go into new construction, folks, I take to tell you, you're not going to go back because they're nice, they're new, everything's perfect. You get these warranties. And it's just hard to go back to an existing home.
But you hear from the builders as well, and I've seen stories, it's hard to find construction workers. Is it for the industry? Is that what you're hearing?
I will say this. I mean, every single year, and I'm a member of some builder associations because it's important for me to know. The statistic that I read, and I apologize if I'm misreading the exact number, but every single year it's continued to increase. This year, 87% of builders, their number one concern is labor. And so so if you are looking at new construction, consider the following. It's going to be more expensive than you think. It's going to take longer than you want. And truth be told is just be prepared for some issues that are going to arise because some people will have something and it's not even your builder's fault. They'll have somebody ready to go to your house within a week or two scheduled. And then some other builder will say, hey, I'll pay you X amount if you'll just come to my job. And there's just no-shows. So there's a little bit of frustration. There's a lot of competitive atmosphere in that building world But truth be told is we're growing, we're doing great. And on the builder side, we have national home builders now entering our market as quick as within the last 6 months.
Wow. I know it's 4 or 5, maybe even 6 years down the road, but how excited are builders, developers, realtors with that huge tract of land you've got on the south end of the valley called the state prison site, which will, people are trying to figure out how do we develop that? What do we put in there? That's got to be exciting as well.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they love that area. In fact, they love it just going even a little bit farther south into Utah County. I mean, those statistics are looking at about, we're 600,000 people there. Within the next 5 years. It's supposed to be the same as Salt Lake, is almost 1 million.
Wow.
So that whole area in general is going to become its own central hub. So yes, they're interested in there, but it actually extends beyond that point.
Okay, what about urban sprawl? Is there enough land around here to build everything that we're going to have to build for future generations?
So I will say this, you will see as when you look at areas that are tentative, like you've seen growth such as in, for example, one of the first projects I had done on the commercial side was one of the stacked storage unit projects. It had never been done locally before. We put it together A to Z, but it was because I basically took that plan from something in San Francisco, right?
Yeah.
So you will start seeing, and you're starting to already see it now, this higher densities starting to be allowed in different locations. Condos, townhomes, things like that. You're seeing less people want these half acres of land like maybe my dad or my uncles wanted. And so is there enough land? Land does obviously run out at a certain point. But what I will say is you're going to see people's needs also change. A lot more people working from home. They don't need to drive an hour and a half into the city. They can work from home. So there is a time, there's a lot of land out there. A lot of people the farther you go out, the more affordable it typically gets. So there is a need for housing. As long as there's a need for housing and we continue to be able, people are comfortable with those commutes, we're okay for now, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm one of those old guys who like my space.
Yeah.
Okay. And I remember we've got a home up in Kaysville we built years ago. Nice quarter-acre lot. We're very, very happy with it. We went to Seattle. The houses were right on top of each other. It's one of these where you can open up your window and shake hands with the guy next door to you. And I'm going, this is going to happen in Salt Lake, and people are going to have to accept it. And you're starting to see that, you say.
Well, you're going to see technology changes too, right? Where some people, I mean, in certain parts of the country, they're no longer buying cars because it's better for them to use an Uber. Will that occur here? Maybe. We don't know. I mean, it's like we need to talk in 20 years and say, okay, what's going to happen in the next 5 years, right? Because there could be different rail lines, subways. There could be things depending on our growth. There will be massive changes. However, we are good. I will say the one thing that does concern me is what will happen with the air quality.
Yeah.
And we'll have to figure that out.
Yeah, we're going to have to figure that out. All right. Number one piece of advice you're giving to home buyers right now and home sellers.
Yes.
Let's start with home sellers.
Okay,
what
home
advice
sellers.
are you giving to them?
Home sellers. There's 3 things that'll sell your home. Right marketing, the condition and showability of that property, and you need to make sure that you are priced at a point that's at least competitive on the market. Hire somebody that is a pro. Hire your expert advisor. Don't get the part-time person. You need someone that can help guide you through the process that's full service. Otherwise, frankly, do it on your own.
All right. How about buying a home?
If you are not owning a home, please, please, please take advantage of the low interest rates on the market. I will tell you, terms are just as valuable as price. If I buy $1 million home at 1% or a $100,000 home at 10%, the payment is the same. You will not see these interest rates in the future. They are going to go up.
Yeah, probably in 2018 from what we hear.
And I will tell you, I am also a buyer. I love my investment properties, and I'm still looking at properties now, even though the market is supposedly at its height. You will continue to see growth. You are going to see them go higher. Lock into a low interest rate now. Do not pay off your landlord's mortgage, and build wealth through real estate.
Wow. He's one of the top, 200 realtors in the market now, recognized by the Wall Street Journal.
Yes, sir.
That.
Yes, sir. That was awesome. I loved getting thank you.
The future is bright, right,
The
Justin?
future is bright. Market is great. I love Salt Lake. This is my home, and we love it.
Yeah, it is great. Justin Udy joining us here in studio to talk about the housing market. Justin Udy and Team Real Estate, great people to work with. Check him out.